guys, it's Kiki.
It's Haylin.
And welcome back to Spilling the Tea Podcast, episode 5.
Is that 5?
Yes.
Perfect.
Hi, bestie.
Hi, bestie.
How are you?
I'm so happy to be with you.
Same. I have a question for you.
What's your question, Kiki?
What is social entrepreneurship in a nutshell?
Oh, yeah, we're getting questions about that. Social entrepreneurship is different from nonprofit because in the traditional philanthropy space, a nonprofit solely relies on donations. And so the reason that's And so social entrepreneurship is different because you actually are making money and you are using that money to further your mission or solve your cause. But you understand that you're going to need a lot of funds to solve an extremely important and significant social issue. And so it's like a socially responsible company, and nonprofits can be that, and corporate companies can also be social entrepreneurs.
What does it take to be a social entrepreneur?
So there's many types of social entrepreneurs, and like me, you might be one and you just have no idea that you are, right? So someone that sees problems and they actually want to create solutions. This could be in a company, right? So say you're in a company and you see things that you feel are not efficient, or you see things that are not working, or that you feel like you have a better idea of how to, make it better, or make it faster, or make it stronger, right? Then you have the mindset of a social entrepreneur. And so if you're not in a company, and say you're external outside of a company, but you don't have to own your own company. Say you're just like a connector. If I'm hey, Kiki, meet this person, right? And you guys are like-minded and you guys care about the same things. Or I say hey, this company and hey, this nonprofit, you guys could help each other out and have a win-win. That's also a social entrepreneur's mindset. And so they say entrepreneurs or, extrapreneurs, but we are social entrepreneurs in a way that is rewarding, but also the most difficult, which is we're opening our own business and trying to create something brand new. And it's not always the best idea. I mean, arguably, it's not a good idea when there's so many little small nonprofits, right? Working in silos, but not coming together to address the bigger issue. But I would say definitely when you're a startup, not just in nonprofit, but anywhere, that first 3 years are really, really tough. And you have been there for the first 2. So why don't you tell the viewers what it takes to be a social entrepreneur?
Yeah, we just turned 2, and wow, it's been a while, right? It's definitely, they don't prepare you for it. They don't give you a manual or, instructions on how to, navigate this journey, but it's tough. It definitely takes a lot.
A lot of what?
A lot of hours, a lot of time. You need to put what has been your priorities on the side, and really focus on what's important to the business and what's really going to push the business out.
But what about all these people on social media oh, you can make 10, 20 grand a month. All you have to do is watch my course. So you don't think social entrepreneurship is like that?
No, they are lying. I like to call those scammers. They try to sell you a very expensive program and they try to teach you about all these amazing things. And then in every single call, they're just trying to sell you something else.
Can you tell we've been through some stuff?
Not trying to be shady. Okay. But shout out Billy. If you guys do need a coach, Billy is the man. Anyway, yeah, it definitely takes a lot of learning, a lot of, money invested, because also these coaches, they are pricey, but you need to pay for them. You know what I mean?
And I know we talk about the coaches because we are, by trade in a clinical space, but it's not just coaching or knowledge, right? It's buying a space. It's it's paying employees, right? We still have all the expenses that regular businesses do, except we are not able to bill for 1/3 of our services, right? So
Yeah, which is a lot. It's definitely a lot.
so
When you still
we
have, especially to pay your clinicians. You know what
right.
I mean?
So I think what you're trying to say is like, or are you like, just tell me.
No, I'm just saying on a personal aspect, you as a person, if you're trying to be a social entrepreneur, just be ready to have zero time for the first 3 years. Be okay with having to put your business first. And when I say that is say bye to your friends, say bye to social time, say bye to family time.
Like we're just trying to keep it
It's a huge
real because
sacrifice
a
for the
lot of
first 3 years.
yeah, and a lot of young people feel like, oh, business is just so easy to open. And the thing about it is when we've talked to every single business owner, right? This is normal, right? And I think I don't even recommend it, honestly. It's
I don't either, unless you have like the
startup
money.
capital,
Yeah.
yeah. And the way that we're doing it is totally bootstrapping it. And so, my family is supportive, right? Kiki's family is supportive. And I think there's a lot behind the scenes that people don't realize. But a better way to start social entrepreneurship is to start like within a company, right? Or also like externally outside of a company, or doing like a 9 to 5, but then also like a side hustle, right? To try to see, is it going to work? Like, am I able to project the amount of like finances I need to cover my 9 to 5, right? Like you should not just like jump into it the way we did.
And I think also something that you mentioned very briefly is that we are very lucky that our families are supportive, because I do know of other social entrepreneur and they don't get to come home to a supportive partner, or like,
Right.
why are you putting all this work in? Like, what about me? Why don't you
Right.
care about our family? It really does take a tribe for you to continue to like move forward.
Yes. And so I think what I wanted to say was that you don't have to do all of this to be as powerful, right? Or as impactful. And if you can change, like if you're willing to challenge the status quo and try to invoke positive change within a company or even externally, then I would say that to keep leaning into that, exploring that, and like really figuring out what energizes you. And I just feel like it's so meaningful, because when you are on this journey and you find the thing that you're called to do, it's really indescribable in terms of like it doesn't feel like work, even though it does feel like work. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that, with being a social entrepreneur, there are also challenges, many, many, many challenges. I think that for me personally,
What's like the biggest?
yeah,
I
my
guess?
biggest challenge is that you have to learn a lot. Like I said earlier, there aren't any instructions, and a lot of these things you have to like figure it out on your own. And it's not like one or two things, it's like 100 things in like under 1 month, right? And then when you finally learn that, guess what? There are 10,000 other things that you still did not know. And guess what? Nobody's going to train you on it. You have to figure it out. And with that also come mistakes.
Yeah. Oh, mistakes for sure. And I think we've grown a lot, right?
A
From
lot.
that. But in the beginning, we have this programming. I think we don't want to make mistakes, right? And then very quickly we learn, oh, we are going to make mistakes. We are going to argue. We are going to disagree. We are going to lose money and forget this. And things are going to fall through the cracks, right? Why? Because we're literally a two-man show, right?
Yeah.
And so the learning piece I also have struggled with. And, like Kiki makes a joke about my beats.
Oh my God, your emotional supported. What is it? Emotional support beat.
Kiki's always like, why do you always have your emotional support beats? But it's because I don't want to bother like my family or my kids, but I'm learning something that I have to like Google and learn on YouTube so that I can implement it the next day. And it's not just showing up as a therapist, but now I'm like, what the hell's a profit and loss statement? Like, why do I have to like, what is all the payroll and this and that? And
My favorite part is when you are listening to this podcast on like 10 times speed.
no, yeah, I always
can
do.
like barely
it's like-
understand it.
I do it at 1.5 because I have ADHD and like my thoughts are fast. That's why I speak fast. And then I also like have to listen to podcasts that fast.
It's too funny. You really
Do you
got this
not?
skill. I don't.
Don't you feel like
If
it's
they're
wasting your
English,
time?
well, for me, if they're in English, I have to listen to
that's
them like
why.
normal
Oh
speak.
my God,
But if
Kiki
they
is
are in
ESL.
Spanish, yeah,
Kiki is
ESL,
ESL.
shout out from Puerto Rico.
Yeah,
But
and
if they are Spanish, I can definitely listen to them quicker.
oh, quicker. Oh, I see.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
but
yeah.
that's also such a gift or like a talent, right? To be bilingual.
I agree.
I mean, I barely even speak English, like, you know, and I only speak English because I was born in Hawaii. Anyway, but it is such a gift, and also to be able to talk to our clients in Spanish too.
Yeah, period. Bilingual queen. But yeah, no, definitely I would say that those are some of my struggles. What about you? What's your biggest struggle when it comes to being a social entrepreneur?
Like just this whole thing.
Yeah,
Or-
just in general.
I'm like, should I say the personal? I think the biggest challenge for me has been like not to sacrifice, not that, you know, whatever, like putting in the hours, whatever. Like the biggest challenge for me has been growing as a leader and like loving my team so much and then feeling like I'm responsible for them too, right? Like the payroll and this and that and learning that I can't care so much about like being liked, like that can't be the number one thing, right? That's not what's required of a leader. And so I guess my own personal development in balancing, you know, having a really, I guess, as positive as possible work culture, along with like growing people by holding them accountable and by having processes and systems that are like, you know, I guess making us more efficient. And so I want to be focused more on the goal and the mission of the community and the kids rather than like, is my staff mad at me? Like, are my clinicians happy? Does that make sense?
Yeah. It does make sense to me. But I also think that, you know, at Spill the Tea, because our team see us doing this work,
Yeah.
they have low-key become social entrepreneurs too.
Oh, they're high key.
Yeah,
they
like
totally are. Social workers by like blood are social entrepreneurs, right? Again, I know it sounds like this word. I don't even like the word entrepreneur because it has that like, you know, the finance bro like feel to it. But that's not what it means. It literally just means, do you want to change the status quo? Like, are you not happy with the way things are right now? And then social workers, those are my people, and we all are inherently social entrepreneurs. And so that's why I said you don't have to open your own business. You don't have to do anything, but you have to be willing to speak up, you know, and say, hey, that might not be inclusive. Oh, that might actually be, you know, really racist or like hurtful. You know what I mean?
yeah.
It's hard to speak up, especially in Asian culture. What about like in your guys' culture?
It's the same. It's the same. It's extremely hard to speak up, especially when there's people already like in power, you know, that come from corporate, that come from other places that don't have that mentality, like that they're not there yet.
Yeah.
It becomes a little bit challenging.
Let me tell you, okay, I was at the
Spill the tea.
I was at the, you know, like coming out of social work, like your master's or whatever, like, oh, I want to like get a federal job, or like you just think like something stable, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like going through all these systems and just realizing like how broken they are. But when you talk about like that corporate culture and how it really is, sorry, it is like so patriarchal. Like one time I was in this boardroom and there was like a entire room full of men, and one person literally said out loud to me, like, the only reason why you're here is because you're an attractive young woman.
What? Tell me, was it a white man?
Yes.
The audacity!
Like an old one, right? But like these kind of things, and I know that
it's so normalized.
I know you haven't been like so in the corporate culture, but
Thank goodness.
everybody knows like this is normal. Like that's happened. That flavor of story has happened.
This is not the normal. They have normalized it. Yeah, and it should not be happening.
Right. What was I saying?
I don't know. We would have to rewatch the podcast to find.
And you really don't think you have ADHD? We're literally like so similar.
If you missed the episode about us talking ADHD, that was on episode 3.
I literally diagnosed you, like you meet criteria. Kiki.
Sorry.
No,
Honestly,
it's
you know
don't
what?
apologize. It's a superpower.
Exactly. I was gonna say, if I do have ADHD, I'm embracing it. It truly is a superpower.
Exactly. Period.
And I also think that social entrepreneurs have that as well. If there's something that we all have in common,
No, research
that we
it.
have
This is true.
ADHD.
Yeah, and we're like unemployable because we're like, listen, this is not working for me, and I just like, what happened on the promo, and it just happened again. Can we be done with this episode?
I think so.
Okay, but if you guys have any other questions,
DM us at spill_the_tea_cafe or email us.
it's okay.
Wait, you just cut me off? I was saying where to send questions.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think so.
I think so too. Wait, what else did you want to talk about?
I wanted to say if you
Social
want to send
entrepreneurship.
questions. No, that's it.
Yeah, that's it. Can we? Wait, let me just see if I want to say anything about social entrepreneurship. I think we should talk about year 3 so people know, they don't have money.
I want you to keep
And-
it
oh, and I thought we were
raw,
gonna- and I
Alex.
thought we
Don't
were
cut
gonna-
anything.
And I thought we were going to talk about me putting in so much money and putting in so much money and putting in so much money to this place.
You were the one that said, "Are we done?"
No, but okay, yeah. No, just be like, Haylin, I think you should talk about like all the sacrifices you made or something.
Okay.
No,
You should have shared that on your struggle.
Say, I know how you. No, because I was like, I don't care about the sacrifice. But say, Haylin, I know you say you don't care about the sacrifice and blah blah blah. No, say this. Say,
I'm just
Haylin,
looking
I
for
know-
water.
I know you said. Say this. Haylin, I know that you say you don't care about the sacrifice and stuff, but I like live with you, and I want you to like say about the sacrifice. Like, can you just tell them like what, and then say it, and then I'll say all the rest.
Can you stop?
What about that one TikTok where they make the weird face? Did you see that?
No.
Never mind. Keep going.
I thought you were a boomer. Boomers are not on TikTok. You see, you're not a boomer. Anyway, okay, so I know you talked about sacrifices and how you didn't care about them, whatever. Is that what you said? Yeah, because, yeah. But I want you to actually talk about the real sacrifices that you go through because, bestie girl, I live with you, so you better spill the tea now. This is your chance.
Like, what do you mean? Like, just the time or the money? Or
Everything. The money, I know that you took out a loan. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, well, we took out a loan, and I thought I could sustain myself in 1 year because I've had like a solo business for a long time, and it's like not a big deal. And then we ran out of money, and then we had to get creative, and so yeah, we work for a lot of people. We have other contracts, and I work for I see doctors like coaching and also therapy, and so I kind of use that business as a way to fill the gaps, but it's kind of like 100% of the
Literally.
like 100% of like that until we grow. Like that is part of it. And so that's where I'm super proud of us because I think in the beginning would have to donate like 20 grand every single month. And now I'm only donating like 10 grand a month or sometimes less. And
I mean, which is still a
less.
significant amount.
Right.
Yeah. And keep in mind, you've been doing this for 2 whole years. That's like a lot of money to donate.
Yeah, well, it's a lot of money for me because I don't come from wealth or I don't come from like, because if you talk to entrepreneurs, like this is like nothing kind of money, but
I know, pocket change.
Right, but like I grew up like in public school and like on welfare and stuff like that. So to not have the money, like the CPA, a shout out to Gary, I love him.
Shout out Gary with MC Group.
Yes.
You're the best.
He's like, people usually get rich and then they like have a foundation or whatever. Like you have no money. You're like opening a foundation, like 501c3. Like you don't have money. Like you're just like paying your staff and then you're not able to bill for those services. Like you're dumb. Like right?
Basically.
Listen, I'm investing in myself and in this community and in these lives. And I know 100% for sure lives have been saved through Spill the Tea Cafe. And I know that we will sustain as we continue to grow and as we continue to get more visible and we get, more contracts and more funding. All we have to do is make it to year 3. Year 3 is where we are eligible to provide 3 years of 990s where we can apply for state and federal funding. But that only happens on year 3, right?
Which is in 12 months. That's it, 12 more months.
Yes. So this is why we really appreciate all of you, not only in like money, right? It's like you guys are telling people about us. You're telling other kids about us. You're even connecting us with like another doctor here on the island. If you guys have advice for us, right? Like there's so many things even more valuable than money that this podcast is allowing for us. So I'm actually glad that Kiki threatened me and forced me to do
And
this.
Billy.
And Billy.
Yeah, so thank you so much for sharing.
Okay.
I am very happy that you are allowing yourself to be authentic and to be real. So thanks
That's
for
another
sharing
hard
the
thing.
tea.
That's very hard for people my age to do. And I do credit Kiki and all of the younger generation and everyone that I work with all day long, and Prim and Deja and Kayla and Tanya and Nahi, like all of the young people. They're like, can you just be authentic? Like, we don't want to see the too professional, polished version of you. And it's been very uncomfortable and
Very
I'm much,
rewarding, I feel like,
yeah,
too.
and I'm much happier like being this way.
Period.
You get paid to be yourself, like, okay.
That is the real luxury. That's really where it's at. But thanks for sharing, bestie. If you guys want to ask us any questions, you can send us a DM at Instagram, spill_the_tea_cafe, or you can shoot us an email, info@spilltheteacafe.org.
We did good. We killed it. We left
Alex,
no
don't
crumbs.
Don't
We
cut
left
where she
no
says,
crumbs.
"Are we done?" Or whatever she says.